I'm 78 years old. I live alone, and I want to tell you something that might surprise you. I love it. It took me a long time to be able to say that honestly and mean it. But here I am, 78, in a quiet house that's mine, and most days I wake up grateful. I make my coffee. I sit by the window and watch the morning come, and at the end of the day, I close my door, take a deep breath, and feel something I spent years searching for. Peace, real peace. But I have to be honest with you. It wasn't always like this. When I first found myself living alone, after my wife and I went our separate ways later in life, I thought it would break me. I thought the silence would swallow me whole. And for a while, it nearly did. I made every mistake a man can make when he suddenly finds himself alone. I let things fall apart. My home, my routine, my connections, myself. I went down into a dark place, and I didn't even notice how far down I'd gone until I was nearly at the bottom. So everything I'm going to tell you today, I learned the hard way by getting it wrong first. And I'm telling you because if you're living alone now, or you can see a day coming when you might, I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. I want you to skip the dark part and go straight to the peace. So here's what I've got for you. 4 things you must never do when you live alone. The 4 mistakes that nearly took me under. And then 4 things you must always do. The 4 habits that pulled me back up and gave me the good life I have now. 8 simple things. None of them complicated. All of them learned from experience. Stay with me all the way to the end because the last one is the one that matters most of all. The first thing you must never do when you live alone is let your space go wild. Let me tell you how I learned this. A few months after I found myself living alone, my daughter came to visit. She walked in the door, and she stopped. She just stopped and looked around. There were dishes in the sink, days worth, mail piled up on the table, unopened, things scattered everywhere on every surface. And she said quietly, "Dad, this isn't okay." And she was right. Here's what I hadn't understood. When you live with someone, they keep you honest without even trying to. Not by nagging, just by being there. You wash the dish because you don't want them to see it sitting there. You keep things in order because someone else shares the space. But when you live alone, all of that quietly disappears. There's no one to see. So you tell yourself, "I'll do it tomorrow." And tomorrow becomes next week. And next week, the whole place has gone to ruin. And somehow, so have you. My daughter didn't lecture me. She just said, "Come on, let's clean for 20 minutes right now together." She set the timer on her phone, 20 minutes, and we cleaned. When that timer went off, the place wasn't perfect, but it was manageable. And I felt something loosen in my chest. I could breathe again. That was the moment I understood what this was really about. It was never about having a tidy house for visitors. I hardly ever had visitors. It was about waking up every single morning and not opening my eyes to chaos. Because here's the truth I learned. When your space falls apart, you fall apart right along with it. The mess outside becomes a mess inside your own head. You wake up already feeling behind, already defeated before the day has even started. So now I keep a simple rule, and I never break it. Never let your space go wild. When you live alone, your home is the one thing in this whole world that's fully yours to control. Out there, the world is chaos. You can't do anything about most of it, but your home, that's yours. That's your kingdom, however small. And if you let it turn into a wreck, you've surrendered the one place that could have given you peace. The second thing you must never do is stop going out. And I'm warning you, this one sneaks up on you so quietly you won't even see it happening. At first, staying home feels wonderful. It feels like freedom. Nobody to answer to, no reason to get dressed if you don't want to. So little by little, you stop. You stop going to the store because they'll deliver now, won't they? You stop going to the places you used to go because it's just too much effort to get ready and get out the door. You stop meeting your friend for coffee. Next week, you tell yourself, and next week never comes. For me, there came a day when I suddenly realized I hadn't stepped outside my own front door in 6 days. 6 days. And the part that truly frightened me? I hadn't even noticed. That's how quietly your world shrinks when you live alone. There's no one to say, "Let's go for a walk," so you just don't. And your whole life narrows down to 4 walls. I remember the day it really hit me. I finally forced myself out to run an errand after weeks of mostly staying in, and someone behind the counter said cheerfully, "How are you today?" And I just stood there. I couldn't quite find the words. My own voice felt rusty in my throat, like a door hinge that hadn't been used. That scared me more than anything. You know what pulled me out of it? I made myself walk to a little coffee shop a few blocks from my house. I ordered a coffee and I sat down at a table by the window, and I just watched the world go by. People coming and going, the fellow making the drinks, cars passing in the street, and something inside me woke back up. I remembered what it felt like to simply be part of the world, part of the living stream of things. So now I have a firm rule. 3 times a week minimum, I leave the house. It doesn't matter where. The coffee shop, the park, the store. 3 times a week, no matter how I feel. Because your home is not the whole world, even when it starts to feel like it is. The third thing you must never do is skip your daily routine. When I was married, we had a routine, my wife and I, without ever really thinking about it. A time to wake, coffee in the morning, breakfast around the same time each day. Structure built right into the shape of our days. And honestly, I thought I hated it. I thought it was dull, confining. When I found myself alone, I thought, now I'm free. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I was so wrong. I slept until noon one day, just because I could. It felt great. So I did it again, and within a couple of weeks I had no idea what day it was, or what time. My body didn't know whether it was coming or going. My mind just floated, unmoored, drifting. And in that driftless fog, a darkness crept in on me, a heaviness, a hopelessness. When I finally talked to my doctor about how low I'd gotten, one of the first things he asked me was, "What time do you wake up?" And I said, "Whenever. There's no reason to get up." And he said, "That, right there, is a big part of your problem." He explained something I've never forgotten. Your body needs rhythm. Your mind needs structure. It's built for it. And when you live with other people, they create that structure around you without you even noticing. But when you live alone, nobody creates it for you. You have to build it yourself, on purpose. So that's what I did. I started waking up at the same time every single day, even weekends. And it changed everything. When I wake up at a set time, I have a morning. Time to make my coffee. Time to sit by the window and ease into the day. My routine now is simple, nothing fancy. Wake at the same hour, coffee, sit quietly for 20 minutes, a real breakfast, not just something grabbed standing up. That's it. But it holds my whole day together like a spine. Because I learned this and it surprised me. When you live alone, a routine isn't a prison. It's a lifeline. It's the thing that keeps you from drifting out to sea. So pick a rhythm, whatever works for you, and hold to it. Same time every day. It'll anchor you when nothing else does. The fourth thing you must never do, and this is the deadliest one of all, is cut off all contact. After I found myself alone, people called it first, friends, family. And I'll be honest about why I stopped answering. Because I think a lot of people in my situation feel this and are ashamed to say it. When someone asked, "How are you doing?" I didn't know how to answer. Because the truth was, I was drowning. And I didn't want to say that, and I didn't want to lie. So it felt easier to just not pick up. I let the calls go to voicemail. Then I stopped listening to the voicemails. Eventually the calls stopped coming, and I told myself I was fine with that. I told myself this was independence. But here's the hardest thing I learned, and I need you to really hear it, because it might be the most important sentence in this whole video. Being alone and being isolated are 2 completely different things. Alone just means you live by yourself. Isolated means that if something happened to you, nobody would know. And I had let myself become isolated. What woke me up was falling in the bathroom one day. It wasn't serious. I bruised my hip, that's all. But as I lay there on the floor, a cold thought went through me. If that had been worse, if I'd hit my head, if I couldn't get up, how long would I have lain here before anyone noticed? A day? 2? A week? That's when I finally understood, all the way down. Cutting off contact isn't independence at all. It's danger. So I let people back in. My daughter started calling every week at the same time, Sunday mornings. At first I told her, "You don't have to do that." And she said, "I know I don't have to, but I want to." Now, those 20 minutes are one of the best parts of my week. We don't talk about anything grand. She tells me about the grandkids. I tell her about the birds at my feeder, but it's a thread, a connection, proof that I'm not alone in the world. So please, never cut off all contact. We'll talk about exactly how to build it back in a moment. For now, just know this: when you live alone, connection isn't a luxury. It's oxygen. So those are the 4 things you must never do. I made all 4 mistakes, every single one, and they nearly took me under. But I climbed back out. And you know how? By doing 4 other things instead. Let me tell you what they are, because these are the habits that turned my life around, and they can turn yours around too. The first thing you must do is clean your space every day. I already told you how I let it all pile up. Now let me tell you exactly how I fixed it, because the fix is simple and it works. 20 minutes, every single day. After breakfast, I set the timer on my phone. 20 minutes, and I break it down. The first 10 minutes, I do the dishes, every one of them. I don't leave a single plate or cup in the sink. When that timer's ticking, the sink gets empty, period. The next 5 minutes, I wipe down the surfaces, the kitchen counter, the table, the bathroom sink, and I sort the mail. Most of it goes straight into the trash. The last 5 minutes, I put things away. Clothes where they belong, things back on the shelf, anything out of place returned to its home. That's it, 20 minutes. And here's what happened. About 10 days into doing this, I woke up one morning, walked into my kitchen, and the counter was clear, the sink was empty, everything was in its place. And I felt calm, truly calm, for the first time in months. That was when I finally understood what this was really about. It was never about having a spotless home for guests. I told you, I barely have guests. It's about creating a space where your own mind can rest. When you wake up and the first thing you see is chaos, dishes stacked up, clutter everywhere, that chaos climbs right into your head, and you start your whole day feeling behind and overwhelmed. But when everything's in its place, you start the day feeling like you've got a handle on your life. And here's the most important thing I learned about this, and it applies to far more than cleaning. Motivation doesn't come first, action comes first. You don't wait until you feel like cleaning. You'll wait forever. You clean first, and the good feeling follows every single time. And doing it every day means it never has a chance to get bad. 3 days of dishes is an overwhelming, dreadful chore. 1 day of dishes is 10 easy minutes. When you tend to things a little each day, nothing ever piles up to the point where it feels impossible. So get yourself a timer, 20 minutes a day. Don't skip, and especially don't skip on the low days, because those are exactly the days you need it most. 20 minutes of cleaning buys you 24 hours of peace. I promise you, it's worth it. The second thing you must do is get out, at least 3 times a week. Let me tell you exactly what this looks like in my life, so it's not just a vague idea. Monday mornings, I walk to the coffee shop a few blocks away. I get a coffee, sometimes something to eat, and I sit at the table by the window for half an hour, and I just watch the world. People coming and going, the cars in the street, the ordinary bustle of life, and I feel human again, part of things. Wednesday afternoons, I walk to the park. There's a bench by the water, and I sit there 20 or 30 minutes, watch the ducks, listen to the wind in the trees. Sometimes other people are around, sometimes I'm on my own. Either way is fine. And Friday mornings, I go to the grocery store. Now here's the thing. I don't always need groceries. Plenty of times I could order it all to my door. But I go anyway. Because it was never about the groceries. It's about being around people. Because here's what I discovered. When you live alone, you can go days without speaking a single word to another living soul, and you don't even notice it happening. You think you're fine. But slowly, quietly, you start to disappear. You forget how to be around people. Even your voice changes, gets quieter, rustier from lack of use. I told you about that day my voice came out scratchy because I hadn't spoken in so long. That frightened me into action. So now I get out 3 times a week, no matter what, and it does more than keep me from disappearing. It keeps my mind sharp, ordering the coffee, finding a seat, making small talk, navigating around people. These aren't hard things, but they're stimulating. They keep the machinery running. Sit at home too long and the mind gets slow and lazy. And there's one more gift in it, the best one. Sometimes, something unexpected happens. Once, at that coffee shop, a fellow about my age sat down near me and struck up a conversation about the ball game. We talked for the better part of an hour. We've met up a few times since. That kind of thing doesn't happen inside your own four walls. So get out 3 times a week. Coffee shop, park, store, library, it doesn't matter, just out. Because your home is not the whole world. The third thing you must do is have something to look forward to. And this one, I truly believe, saved my life. Because in that dark stretch, every day felt exactly the same. Wake up, coffee, sit around, television, bed. Wake up, coffee, sit around, television, bed. There was no point to any of it, no reason to get up in the morning. Then one day my daughter called and said, "Dad, Friday night, that Italian place, 7 o'clock, I'm picking you up. I'm not asking." So Friday came, and we went to dinner. And for 2 hours, I felt like a normal person again. But here's what I realized when I got home. All week long, without even meaning to, I'd been thinking about Friday, wondering what I'd order, looking forward to it. That one dinner had given the whole week a shape. It had given me something to move toward. And that's when it clicked. I needed things to look forward to. Not big things, just something. So I started small. I'd tell myself, Friday I'm going to that place I like and I'm getting my favorite meal. And all week I'd think about it. Friday would come, I'd go, and the meal would be good. But you know what? The looking forward to it was even better. Having something on the calendar, having a reason to get through a dull Tuesday and Wednesday, that was the real gift. So now I always have something coming up. This week, it's coffee with a friend on Friday. Next week, there's a book coming out I want, so I've got a trip to the bookstore planned. The week after, my daughter's visiting, and we're going to the botanical garden. Always something, and here's what it does. It gives each week a shape. Without something to look forward to, the days blur into one gray smear. Monday's the same as Thursday's, the same as Saturday. But when you've got something coming, each day gets its meaning back. Monday becomes 4 days until the thing. Wednesday becomes 2 days until. The days connect up into a real week again. So make plans, small ones, every single week. It doesn't have to cost money and it doesn't have to involve other people. Maybe there's a new bakery you want to try. Put it on the calendar for Thursday morning. Maybe there's a film you want to see. Tuesday afternoon. It genuinely does not matter what it is. Just put it on the calendar. I keep a little notebook, and every Sunday I write down at least one thing to look forward to in the coming week. Sometimes it's seeing a friend. Sometimes it's just Wednesday, try a new walking route. Sometimes it's Friday, get that ice cream I like. Tiny things. But they matter, because when Wednesday comes, I wake up thinking, today's the new route day. And just like that, Wednesday is different from all the other days. You have to create your own reasons to look forward, because without them, time just passes, and there's a word for passing time with nothing to move toward. It's not living, it's just existing. So get yourself a calendar or a little notebook, and every week put at least one thing on it, one thing to look forward to, and watch how your days start to matter again. The fourth thing you must do, and this is the most important of them all, is call or meet someone once a week. Let me tell you exactly how this works in my life. Sunday mornings, 10 o'clock, my phone rings. It's my daughter. Every Sunday, same time. Like I told you, at first I resisted it. You don't have to call every week, I said. And she said, I know, but I'm going to. And now I look forward to it all week. Sunday morning at 9:45, I pour my coffee and settle into my chair. 10 o'clock, the phone rings. Hi, Dad. Hi, sweetheart. We talk 20 minutes, sometimes 30. She tells me about the grandkids. One of them got a good grade, another's playing soccer. I tell her about my week. Had coffee with a friend, saw a couple of cardinals at the feeder. Small things. But those 20 minutes remind me every week that I'm not alone in this world. That there's someone who cares whether I'm all right, who wants to know how my week went, who would notice if something were wrong. And that is everything. I also have a standing coffee with an old friend every other Friday. He's about my age, lives alone too, lost his wife some years back. We met, funny enough, at that same coffee shop, got to talking about baseball, and now we meet up regular as clockwork. Sometimes we talk a lot. Sometimes we just sit there with the newspaper saying almost nothing. Either way suits us fine. It's not profound. It's not life-changing on the surface. Just two old men having a coffee. But here's what it does. It means I'm not completely alone. There's someone who expects to see me every other Friday, and if I didn't show up, he'd notice, he'd call. And that matters more than I can tell you, because it comes back to the thing I learned lying on that bathroom floor. If something happens to you, who knows? If you fall, if you get sick in the night, who notices? My daughter calls every Sunday. If I didn't pick up, she'd call again, then she'd drive over. My friend expects me every other Friday. If I didn't turn up, he'd reach out. That's not just pleasant, that's essential. That could be the difference someday between a bad morning and something far worse. Because I've heard the stories. We all have. People living alone, no regular contact with anyone, who fall or take ill, and nobody knows for days. And it breaks my heart, because it's preventable. All it takes is one person, one regular point of contact. So if you take nothing else from me today, take this. Pick one person, call them, say, "Hey, it's me. I know it's been a while. I was thinking about you. How are you?" That's all it takes to start. And at the end, ask, "Can I call you again next week?" Most people will say yes and be glad you asked, or meet someone in person, same coffee shop, same bench, same time each week. Make it a standing thing, a routine, so it doesn't depend on anyone remembering to arrange it. Because once you do, you're not isolated anymore. You've got someone who knows you're alive. And more than that, you've got real human connection, voice to voice, face to face. Those Sunday calls, those Friday coffees, they're my lifeline. They're what keep me human. So one person, one call or one visit, once a week, 20 minutes. And here's the thing to remember. You're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. Because when you live alone, connection isn't a luxury. It's survival. So there it is. Everything I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. 4 things you must never do. Never let your space go wild. Never stop going out. Never skip your daily routine. Never cut off all contact. And 4 things you must do. Clean your space 20 minutes every day. Get out 3 times a week. Always have something to look forward to. And call or meet someone once a week. 8 simple things. That's all it took to turn my life from something I was barely surviving into something I'm genuinely grateful for. I want to leave you with this because I think it's the whole heart of it. I'm 78 years old. I've been living alone for years now, and I'm not just getting by. I'm living. It's a good life. It's not the life I once planned, not the life I imagined for myself at this age, but it's mine. Fully, completely mine. And when I close my door at the end of the day and take that deep breath, I feel peace. So if you're living alone and it feels hard right now, I want you to hear me. It doesn't have to stay this way. Start today. Clean your space. Step outside. Make a small plan. Call one person. Because living alone does not have to be lonely, and it does not have to be sad. It can be good. It can be really, truly good. I'm the living proof of it. And if I could find my way to peace after getting every single thing wrong first, then so can you. And let me tell you one last thing. Man to man, friend to friend. There is no shame in any of this. There's no shame in living alone. No shame in the days it feels hard. And no shame in needing these small habits to hold yourself steady. For a long time, I thought asking for connection, keeping to a routine, letting my daughter check on me, I thought all of it meant I was weak, that I'd failed at being independent. I had it exactly backwards. It takes real strength to build a good life out of hard circumstances. It takes courage to pick up the phone, to get out the door on a low day, to make your bed when no one will ever see it. That's not weakness. That's a man taking care of himself with dignity. And you deserve that dignity every day you have left, so give it to yourself. You're worth the effort. If any of this meant something to you today, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe, so we can keep sitting down together like this. And if you know someone who lives alone, someone you love, someone who might need to hear this, please share it with them. It might be the thing that reaches them on a hard day and reminds them that they are not alone, and that a good life is still absolutely within their reach. In the comments, I'd love to hear from you. Are you living alone? And which of these 8 things are you going to start with? Whatever you're facing, you're in good company here. Take care of yourself. And remember, living alone doesn't have to be lonely. It can be good. Start today.